What's up, YouTube? It's Willie Rebuild, baby. Back with another one. We ain't messing with rat nest today, baby. Got the old Tahoe here. 2009 or 10. It been here so long, I done forgot what year it is. But we about to knock it out. What we doing is, we done started on our chassis swap. Took the rim out from under it. Took the suspension away off both sides complete. As you can see, the frame is bent. The passenger wheel was sitting back. The frame tweaked throughout in a few different spots, all in the middle. Radiator support, no good. Took the suspension. 2 of the wheels was cracked from the accident. Took the suspension off both sides. Getting ready to take the rack and pinion out from under it, and maybe the gas tank. And that's as far as I'm gonna go until I pick the cab up. I'm gonna show y'all, walk y'all through how I do them to make it easy. I'm gonna show y'all the chassis over here, how I prep them up and get them ready to put the cab on. So as you can see, this the new chassis. Well, not new, but good chassis from the junkyard. Come off a truck with a blown motor, a flood truck, whatever it came off, but I don't care about that long as it ain't been wrecked. And what I do is, I take my rim off complete. I always get the chassis belt with nothing on it. Sometimes they'll leave little wires and stuff. All this come off the chassis. Scrap shit that they leave on there that they don't feel like taking off, what they feel like they might can't get nothing for, or they just don't feel like taking it off, they'll leave it on there. But I strip all that off. First thing I do is take my front suspension off of both sides complete. Front suspension off both sides, sit it on side the chassis. Driver and passenger side. Once I get that done, I come to the chassis and jack it up. Put both sides on, put both of the front tires on both sides. Then I come to the back, put my rim under complete. I leave all my trailing arms on. That way I can roll the rim. In this case, I use the hand truck. I do all this by myself. No help, one man show. Willie Rebuild, baby. I roll my rim over here and jack my chassis up in the back. Hook my control arms up, and then I jack the frame up. Once I jack the frame up, I put my springs and my shocks on. And then my rim is attached to my frame. Then I jack my frame up and put my wheels on it. And now the frame is mobile. I can roll it out. The way I usually do them is, I put my rack on here so my wheels could be hooked up. And sometimes I put the gas tank on, depending on how I'm feeling. Today, since I'm ahead of the game, I might put my gas tank on and put my rack on. That way, tomorrow, when I get my boy over there with the forklift, that's how I get the cab up, with the forklift. Pick the cab up, sit it on the side. Now I got my chassis exposed like this chassis is. All your wire harness for your body or the frame, whatever you want to call that harness, it run along the frame all the way to feed your fuel tank, your tail lights, your speed sensors, and all that there for your rim. Once he picked the cab up, then I go ahead and unplug all them wires and hook them up, put them how they go, connect all my grounds throughout the frame. And once I do that, hook my gas tank up, hook all my vacuum lines, emission lines, I hook all that up to the frame. That's how they do it in the factory. Everything go on the frame without the cab on it. Once I get it to that stage, YouTube, what I do then is I take my engine hoist and I come back over here by this frame. Cause at this point, I got the cab off of this frame and sitting on the ground. I put my engine hoist in front of the truck and I jack my engine up. Engine and transmission complete with wire harness and everything. All you do is unplug your main harnesses from your computer. You don't cut no wires, don't do no cutting or nothing. You don't use pliers and cutting tools at all. Everything is plug and play. Once I pick my engine up and get it off the chassis, my old chassis is then ready to trade places with the new chassis. It's ready to go over here for scrap then. And then this chassis here, I roll it over. Sometime to do this part, I have me somebody, a guy or two, help me roll it over to where my engine gonna be sitting over there on my hoist, waiting to sit down on my new chassis. And as you can see, my cross member and all that's already in place and ready to be sit down on the chassis. And once I sit the engine on, I tighten up my trans mount, tighten up my engine mounts, tighten them up. And once that's happened there, it's done. I take the old chassis and hook it on back of my truck and drag it over here. Chassis swap is done, baby. Whole process take me no longer than 3 days, maybe 4 days. And the job is done. Got my fender sitting over here, because that's all was messed up on the front, was the front bumper, the fender, radiator support, and the headlights. That hood I'm gonna repair. I started playing with it yesterday. I see I can repair it. So I might repair it, I might not, depending on how I feel. But I got my fender sitting right there in the box. And I got my radiator support, condenser and fans sitting right there, baby. Ready to go. About to knock it out. Like I say, tomorrow evening or tomorrow around this time, I'll be ready to sit my chassis, sit my engine on the chassis and drop the cab back on. And once I hook my cab up, put my cab on, you got a body mount here, a body mount here, here, and here. Same thing on both sides. Once you hook that up, your frame is your cab and your frame is been married, baby. They then become husband and wife, and the job is done. I call a customer and tell them to come and get it. And this time, make sure you got some full coverage insurance on this joker, or else you'll be back over here at Willie Rebuild again, baby. Just giving y'all an inside scoop, showing y'all how I do a chassis swap without a lift, without fancy tools. You don't see no L tools right there. I got an old Raggly Jack I've been having for about 5 or 6 years that work like a champ, and all hand tools. My Milwaukee Impact, it been down for about 2 months, and I've been lazy and ain't sent it out. So I do all this with hand tools. This is how I started anyway. So it don't bother me doing it like that, because this is how I started doing everything. So, and I still use my hand tools a lot rather than using L or the Impact. But that's how I do it. The world of Willie Rebuild, baby. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's Willie Rebuild over and out, baby.